Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and the others. My name is Jacobo from Plaintables Camp. It says apostles video, lights out. So apparently some fuel that's supplied, I'm assuming some fuel that's supplied to Ukraine from Russia, or they hit some power grid or a gas line. Let's see what's going on.
Shalom to you all. Make this super quick. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video Russia turns off Ukraine's lights. This is put up by Dabu. I'm going to let you hear it. Let me slow it down. Fair use. Lights out. Ukraine, Kiev, which is the capital of Ukraine. We used to say Kiev. We used to say Kiev. 9 other regions plunge into darkness as Russian air war escalates. So let's go ahead and hear it. This is 3 minutes and change long.
And the reports out of Kiev are now saying that the lights are out. As you can see right here, strikes from Russia have put them largely in the dark. And this is in response to Zelensky's comments. Zelensky's comment was earlier this week. He said they were going to leave Moscow in the dark. So in turn, Moscow has turned around and left them in the dark. Now, as another winter is coming, the attacks are hitting the power plants and the energy grid, and Russia did this about a year ago, and they were pounding them, and then they just stopped for pretty much no reason. But now going into winter, they're facing a truly uphill battle.
So I looked up some stuff. I put in Russia knocks out Ukraine lights. All right, so it's 10 hours ago. Russia, well, no, it's not 10 hours ago, 3 days ago. Russia strikes seriously damaged Ukrainian power plant as winter approaches. So, yeah, they're suffering over there. So they're caught in the midst of some sick power battle between the West and the East. And, you know, they're partially working together, but then they're actual enemies. It's really sick. It's an Edomite chess. That's how they play chess on a world scale. But hey, they're being played by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, they're being played by them. So let's listen to some more. And it's good to know these things because whenever things happen overseas, these can be, microcosms of how disasters and tragedies can happen here in the States, in Babylon. So it's good to pay attention.
Battle. And they're talking about emergency schedules being rolled out in Kiev, Poltava, Kharkov, Sumy, all these areas. They don't know who's going to have power and for how long. Russia could keep this up. You can see on the right, these are all the areas from which they fired missiles from. They hit them from every direction that they could, north, east, and south, pummeling everything that they targeted. I don't think that they had a single missile shot down. If they did, and it wasn't many, it looks like all reached their targets, and they're just pounding them. Russia is
right from the beginning. Russia could have overwhelmed Ukraine with air power easily, but again, they're playing I call it a sick game, but they're playing a game of empire wars, or you can give it another name. But if Russia really wanted to get rid of Zelensky, they could, but he's being used as a puppet because remember the RFID implantable microchip, they all have this plan to implement this in the future. So, as a medium of exchange for goods and services. So, we know they're working together in certain ways. So, their border disputes and politics are minutia to the grand scheme, which is to have everybody implanted with chips, microchips, to take control of their particular sector of the world. So, and ultimately, the so-called enlightened ones are going to be burnt with fire, all right, on all their sides. So we have to wait and see. Let's just finish this out. I don't know what the apostles' comments are going to be. So hopefully he makes some. But again, knowing this stuff is good, because what does the scripture say? Be not ignorant of anything small or great. Let me find that precept. All right, but this is not small. This is not small. Remember, these things that are done for experiments and to test in other places. So never let a good crisis go to waste, so to speak.
Claimed over 3,000 square miles of Ukraine in this year alone. One of the biggest problems for Ukraine seems to be Zelensky's mouth, and Zelensky, period. So this is a big escalation here. Again, heading into winter, and with the lights out, everyone's going to have to prepare.
The precept is Ecclesiasticus Sirach 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything or small. All right, that's the precept.
Large scale. Russia doesn't seem to be stopping this time. And, since Trump can't get the Nobel Peace Prize now, it seems like him trying for these peace situations may be over. We'll see. We'll see what comes of it, but really, it looks like he tried here, and it's not up to him anyway. In this position, Zelensky and the leadership in Ukraine have got to make a call to end this through and through. Because to me, if not, Russia's going to end up taking over most of the country. And a tactical nuke is probably going to fly here at some point. I could see Zelensky and them, before they get ran out of there, dropping a tactical nuke on Moscow, or attempting to, and in turn getting themselves nuked. Tactically, I don't see the old conventional weapons ever being used again with the massive radiation plumes, because we've just got too much tactical stuff these days.
Well, that's an opinion. That's a theory that keeps going around, that they could use like a smaller nuclear weapon. What he's saying, right? To target like something very specific, to devastate a smaller area. So, he's not an expert. He's just been, doing this for a long time. I don't really know who the hell Double 7 really is, but we're living in exciting times. We know the major nuclear stuff is going to fly, and that's going to totally destroy Babylon America. And the full title is Lights Out Ukraine, Kiev, just 007. Ukraine, Kiev, 9 other regions plunged into darkness as Russian air war escalates. All right, ebbs and flows. Remember, it was all the Russians are getting killed. How many Russians are getting killed? Oh, now Russia has air superiority now. Like, come on, we're seeing this through a lens. I'm sure it's some political theater going on here too, but we have to just wait and see, and check our local news and alternative news, which, we get it from people that are there and from mainstream media. That's the lens we have to see through. So we just would hope they report the truth. That's a lot coming from, Satan. He just asking Satan to report the truth is, I guess the conundrum that we're in. But let me finish this video. It's like 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes.
Get the job done. I would expect to see that from here, and it's like the ball's in their court to either make peace or get hit again. If they dare strike Russia again from here, they're gonna get pounded out hard. And I don't know if they're gonna be able to recover from something like that going into winter. So, huge strike here. Join me for the live stream, so I'm talking about this in greater detail. The repercussions to all this could lead to World War III.
No, it's not. Okay, we still have prophecies that need to. It's just a build up, a lead up to WW3. Right. This is just one front. All right. We have what? Economy, religion, technology, and these wars. So it's multiple fronts in which is going to lead up to a WW3 scenario. But you got what? 10 seconds left. Let's finish it out.
Live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. Much love.
So with that, Shalom.
All right, that was it there. Let's see if we check some other stuff out. Let's refresh that. Yeah, we are, like the apostle from the Matrix, we're living in exciting times. We are living in exciting times. All right, Big Daddy and Son is going to take this place out soon. Let's not forget. Let's not be naive. We're not supposed to be getting comfortable here. In ignorance. Let's not be ignorant. We know we have to be prepared to move. We're pilgrims. Be prepared to move at any time. Don't get emotionally attached to anything you have. That's the cheat code. Whatever you're involved in lawfully, don't get emotionally attached to it. Where we at? Invisible asteroid. I heard about this. I heard the apostle speak about this. All right.
Praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Al-Shai, Bashem, Kakudah, Shalom to the 144,000. The rest of the elect up there, Shalom to you all. I'll make this super quick. I'm going to entitle this video, Big Daddy and Son is getting ready to take this place out. So I'm watching Richie from Boston. This is his page right here. And this just popped up. This was put up 41 minutes ago. So right here, it says Earth, Sky, whatever. You can go to this website and check for yourself. It says invisible asteroids near Venus, a new danger to Earth. I had to think about that for a minute. Asteroids are it's mass. So you're supposed to be able to see it, feel it, know the dimensions of it. It's half the size of the moon, it's the size of the moon, whatever. But now you got invisible asteroids near Venus, a new danger to the Earth. So while this man, Mr. 47, is making plans against us, Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai is making plans against this whole system. You know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Well, they're going to really freak out when Yahweh Shai and the angels come back. And on numbers, we're talking about innumerable. You can't count
Right, and the mere presence of I call them celestial beings. The mere presence of you know, the mere presence of one. The amount is up to what program what Yahweh Shai deems fit under orders from the Father. All right, I looked it up. The research. All right, a paper titled "The Invisible Threat: Assessing the Collisional Hazard Posed by the Undiscovered Venus Co-orbital Asteroids." All right. The authors point out that our telescopes have observational biases. All right, grouped around surveys, obviously, because it's coming through a lens. All right, struggle to see. It says ground-based surveys struggle to see these objects because they are now often very close to the sun in the sky. For example, low solar uh, elongation, so they are hidden in solar glare or accessible only during narrow observing windows. Their simultaneous cover co-orbital cycles over tens of thousands of years. Okay, you had telescopes from 10,000 years ago. The model shows that some of these, Esau, he just puts dates on stuff. All right. So how the hell you know they were there 10,000 years ago? I mean, they were there, obviously, because they're celestial beings, but, Esau, you're the devil. The model shows that some of these uh, putative co-orbitals, forgive me for my pronunciations, could have close encounters with Earth over long time scales. The study suggests that future survey telescopes, e.g., the Vera Rubin Observatory, might exceed some of these objects during favorable alignments. So you can only see basically upon the angle and light in the sky. The sun, can obscure or make it revealed based upon the sun angle and light angles. All right. The Vera Rubin Observatory might detect some of these objects during favorable alignments. That's light. Light and object, different objects in front of other objects in the light. But even then, many would remain difficult to spot. All right, so yeah, those beings are those beings are there. The Zechariah the 5th chapter. All right, Zechariah the 5th chapter. Let me see. Dust and smell of smoke, Apocrypha. Apocrypha. Looking up that event. With that Sirach. No. Second Ezra's. No, it was the second Ezra's. Dust and smell of smoke, Apocrypha. Was that 13th chapter? Am I looking at? No. No, it had to be earlier than that. There was nothing left but dust and smell of smoke. It was a 10. It was a 10. No, I said 13. Yeah. All right, the 5th chapter. No, it's not the 5th chapter. Let me find it. All right. Ezra's the 13th chapter. Yeah, so second, it was the 13th chapter. Okay. Second Ezra 13. But only I saw, read the whole chapter, get full understanding. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. Those are the chariots of Israel. This is what's coming, right? This is what's up there in the heavens, space.
This is going to be a hell of a day. And it's all going to take place inside of an hour. We're going to have Jacob's trouble. Then immediately after Jacob's trouble, or in the midst of Jacob's trouble, we're going to be delivered. And then the destruction is going to come. Anyway, I said I was going to make this short. Shalom, on to the next.
And remember, Esau, or someone else, but Esau commonly calls it the heavens space. We don't. The Bible doesn't say planets, the blackness, the sun, all that stuff out there. Space. The Bible doesn't call it space. I don't believe space is in the Bible. Yeah, it's not in the Bible. I don't believe it's the heavens. All right. So Esau, Edom calls it space. We call it the heavens. All right. What we look the second heaven. We got the earth. And we got space. What we call space, and then we have the spiritual realm. All right. The third heaven, I believe the Bible calls it. And space is, I guess, a modern or a Western term, but that's not a biblical term, space. All right, so one of the heavens. So he says killer asteroids. Yeah, they kill her, all right, but they're going to issue the fire like in 2 Ezra 13. So I'll leave it there. Hope you edified. Shalom.